caught yourself telling yourself that you're not good enough? Or that you're a loser? Or that you're stupid because of something you said? Most people have these kind of thoughts at some point in their life. So today, let's talk about negative self-talk. First of all, let's define what negative self-talk actually is. It can take various forms and range from harmless criticism like saying, I need to get better at this so I can land my dream job, all the way to being downright mean to yourself, like saying that I'm a loser and I will never achieve anything in life. Essentially, it's those negative thoughts you have about yourself that usually do more harm than good. This kind of inner dialogue can often prevent people from believing in themselves and reaching their full potential. Do you sometimes have thoughts like this too? Then this video is for you. When I was around 20 years old, I started thinking about how I can be a better person. And I tried to improve at so many things at once that I quickly got overwhelmed with it. I had also realized that the biggest enemy I was going to face on my self-improvement journey is myself. And what really made me realize that was the excessive amount of self-criticism I constantly put myself under. Now, don't get me wrong. Reflecting on yourself is a good thing, no doubt about that, but only up until a point. And when I realized that like 80% of my thoughts were something along the lines of, you're a loser and you suck at this and you should just go bury yourself in the next hole, I knew that something was wrong and I should change that. Becoming a better person does not happen overnight. It's all about baby steps. You just need to be patient and give yourself the time to actually grow. But even that is really difficult when you're constantly frustrated with your own bad habits and behaviors. A little bit of self-criticism obviously isn't bad. It can definitely motivate you or even give you a reality check. But telling yourself that you're trash all the time is probably only going to do the opposite. Everyone has different reasons to talk down on themselves, but as soon as you create that kind of pattern of negative self-talk, it's really hard to get rid of it again. And it's just so easy to start beating yourself up about a lack of confidence or a personality trait you don't like. But this kind of negativity can have serious consequences. For some people, it can lead to an increase in stress, mood swings, and even depression. It's one thing to be aware of your weaknesses, but it's another to constantly criticize yourself for having those weaknesses. And I had to learn this the hard way. Having this vision of this ideal self that I wanted to become, I began looking down on my current self. Every time I made a small mistake, the frustration would eat away at me, and I started hating myself for not being the person that I wanted to be. But how could I learn to love myself and be confident if all I can think about all the time is how much I suck at being confident? Up until a few months ago, whenever I got really frustrated with something, it would lead to straight-up anxiety attacks. I was so quick to blame myself for all the bad things happening in my life that my brain literally couldn't take it anymore. And these anxiety attacks were really scary. I was essentially just crying and screaming because I couldn't accept the situation I was in. And I would tell myself that. You still suck at this. You are still really bad at that. Why can't you just be better? And I would have these thoughts paired with anxiety attacks for sometimes up until 30 minutes at a time. All I could think about in these moments was how much of a pathetic human being I was. I kept talking down on myself, mentally calling myself a loser, weak, and most of all, not good enough. As the anxiety attacks happened more frequently, I knew I had to do something about my negative self-talk. All I wanted was to break the cycle of negativity so I could finally feel confident in myself. I tried lots of things to increase my self-worth. Meditation, affirmations, journaling, and those things are all fine and I still do them, but what I really needed in that moment was a drastic change of perspective. I was stumped for a while because nothing seemed to work, until I got a very simple piece of advice from a friend. At first, I didn't fully grasp what my friend meant by saying, you should treat yourself like your best friend. But after a while, I realized that I had been way too hard on myself, and I had been breaking my own boundaries. Imagine this situation. If I was trying to get better at cooking and someone was constantly telling me how disgusting my meals were without giving any constructive feedback or, acknowledging small improvements, I would probably stop cooking for them and cut them out of my life. But then, why do we justify being toxic towards ourselves? Obviously, you can't just cut yourself out from your own life, but what you can do is change the relationship you have with yourself. And this little exercise should help with that. At times when negative self-talk comes up, make yourself aware of these thoughts. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, why am I thinking this way? And then ask yourself, what would I tell my best friend if they were in my situation? And here's where my mindset changed completely. Because I know that if I was trying to give advice to a friend who was frustrated with their flaws, I would want to encourage them and tell them that they're good the way they are. That they shouldn't mind the small setbacks and just keep their eyes focused on their goals. Giving others a confidence boost seems easy enough, right? So why don't we just do it for ourselves as well? Being kind to others is great, but I had to learn that being kind to myself is even more important than that. Ever since I tried to treat myself like a good friend, my patterns of negative self-talk have pretty much disappeared. Sure, here and there I still beat myself up for making a stupid decision or a small mistake, but I can snap out of it pretty quickly instead of ruminating on it for days. Now I know that the best way for me to grow is to accept myself and treat myself with respect, compassion, and patience, just like I would a friend. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to my channel for more videos on lifestyle and Japan related content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.